I thought Stephen A. Smith was the face of ESPN. Over the past several months, Pat McAFee has become the absolute face of ESPN, rescuing ESPN from itself. What ESPN used to have at the network, just honest people that love sports and want to talk about it. If Pat McAfee wasn't there, would ESPN be irrelevant right now? Pat McAfee to the rescue. That's right. Our friend Pat Mac is rescuing ESPN from it.
Irrelevant? That's strong. Hell no.
Wait, what? I thought Stephen A. Smith was the face of ESPN. Stephen A. Smith cannot be the face of ESPN. Here's why. He has no credibility in baseball, none in hockey, none in the WNBA.
Okay, we're just picking the sports we don't watch? What are we doing here?
Basketball was a complete nightmare with him on the set. All the footballs are out. NFL, he couldn't be on Monday Night Football. And nobody really cares. He hosts a 2-bit show, and ESPN gave him $20 million because, well, quite frankly, they didn't want to hear that they are racist any longer. So along comes Pat McAfee, one of the most versatile broadcasters of our generation.
One thing is hard to do is catch him when he ain't talking. That was one. I see you, Dan. Wow. ESPN gave him the money because they don't want to be called racist. All right, let me give you this story. There was a time where that was a play. I don't know if it's still that time, but let's go 2017, 19, 20. Do y'all remember when Shannon Sharpe was having his contract negotiations against Skip Bayless? Remember Skip Bayless left ESPN, 2016 to take over? He was making $8 million a year, him and Colin Cowherd. Those were the linchpins. Those were the foundation. Those two foundation of building up FS1. Everybody else get in line behind them. Don't ask for their amount. I think it was $8 million for Skip, $6.5 million for Colin at that time. Everybody else get in line. We don't care your color, your creed. We don't care what's going on in the world. We ain't care about social issues. I remember that because Shannon Sharpe all of a sudden surpassed certainly Skip Bayless in Q rating and cultural impact, and people were just like, yo, he's the show. Whatever you want to say about it. Skip Bayless was still Skip Bayless. Colin Cowherd was still Colin Cowherd. But then in the contract negotiations, it started to get out that, the race card was being played because how can you pay Skip Bayless double what you paying Shannon Sharpe? And Shannon Sharpe is making the show? It's because he black. Remember that? So when he said that, it kind of triggered like, I've heard that before, but I ain't heard that in a while. Y'all think that's really the case for Stephen A. Smith? Beat it up in the comments. I don't think so.
Single-handedly, McAfee did, along with Saban. So I'm not going to say single. I'll say 1.5. They revived Game Day. Game Day was on life support. He brought a breath of fresh air to
add to that story also, I heard that from a Fox executive, right? So they were saying they were upset that they were like, the race card is being played against us, and that's not even the conversation. This wouldn't be a show without Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Skip Bayless. So how do we pay him more? How do we even pay him the same? They were kind of upset at that. I don't know how they worked that out, but they did.
Far left crazy ass. We got to have every brother and sister on our network talking down about Whitey Network. McAfee, because he doesn't care, and because he does things on his own, is, well, frankly, like I said, a breath of fresh air. And he's getting ready to sign a big contract extension, and that's a good thing for all of us. Over the past several months, Pat McAfee has become the absolute face of ESPN. He is getting the trust of all of the, quote, bigwigs. He is infiltrating the part of ESPN that has given itself over to DEI, given itself over to angry African Americans who are angry at Whitey.
What did I find? Okay, here we go. If you sift through all of this, you do find the fact that he's saying, look, Pat McAfee being Switzerland and just being a normal human being like most of us are, which is like, dog, I'm not going to let you lead with your color or let you lead with your character, then you're going to win. You're going to be the one who is not going to pigeonhole himself, not going to box himself in or out. And then you're going to be somebody that we're going to all rally around and say, thank you. Sports exclusively, sports especially. So that's what Pat McAfee's signature gift is to us, is that he's keeping it sports in a fun, lighthearted, informative, educational, and entertaining way. That said, there are still some headwinds to face, and I don't know if it's coincidence, but, the there was a time where there was much more race baiting. There was a time where there was much more racial conversation in sports. I don't know, is it because politically or outside in the real world, socially, it's not occurring on big stages like it is right now? Like it was back then. Because, dog, there was a time where you couldn't watch ESPN where it was like, dog, another race conversation? I get it. But it's not that now. So is that all of a sudden making way for a guy like Pat McAfee? It's like, that was never my card to play. So therefore, that's why I'm killing it right now, because I'm killing it because y'all focused in on the right things before y'all focused in on the wrong things. We all know that Ryan Clark and others would get huge headlines because they would dive into that racial pool, right? But now it ain't that much water in there right now. Things can change overnight. We know how the game goes, but I've heard that ESPN has said we're getting rid of all of these kind of conversations. They've gotten rid of some of the people who actually were leading those conversations, and now we're here. Let's see.
Who are racist every single day, but Pat McAfee balances that out pretty good by just being what ESPN used to have at the network, just honest people that love sports and want to talk about it in a fun, refreshing way. I actually watched SportsCenter yesterday, and I'm like, who are these idiots? It's like
oh, man, he just don't like ESPN. So I think everything that comes from it is going to go that way. All right, I'm here to cleanse this. Let's see what he's saying. But goodness, he don't like nothing.
Clown show, two guys trying to entertain. It was ridiculous. It was a morning sports center. I don't know who does that. Anyway, here's a little bit from Brendan Clean of Awful Announcing. Early March, McAfee anchored NFL free agency coverage for the network with fallow talent. I don't know if these guys are talent. Apparently he's talent. Dan Orlovsky joining him at the Thunderdome. It is not outside of Indianapolis. It is in Indianapolis, as it is right down the street for me, and my address is Indianapolis, and so is that. Anyway,
he's just mad at life. All right. His take, no, you see, we got to separate the signal from the noise, and that's why we're going through this one. Not all of them going to be so convenient. His take is, Stephen A., you played it a certain way, you got rewarded, but you're not actually getting what you desire, which is truly the network at your hands, at your fingertips. That's going to Pat McAfee, who didn't play that card, who didn't go that way, and is now reaping all those rewards. If Stephen A. Smith got $20 million and they're giving all of these roles and opportunities and responsibilities to Pat McAfee, and they're talking extension, that's going to be north of $20 million. Way more. Way more. Uh-oh, don't do that.
April, McAfee brought back his on-site NFL draft live show, which was hugely popular, featuring Schrager and Orlovsky just last year. How did they get away with not having a bald black woman on there? How did they get away with not having a brother or a sister? I mean, we're talking about three white guys? Blasphemy. Burke Magnus, you are fired.
Okay, tongue-in-cheek, but also gangster. Motherfucker here. Hey, I see where we had to go. Maybe we should have framed this different. Like, the consequences of Stephen A. Smith is why now Pat McAfee may be king. I like that. But, boy, because there was a time you would watch ESPN and you're like, yo, they are really agendifying life. Like, you could just tell these are forced issues. These conversations are being thrust upon us. I get what he's saying. Jesus. Don't you hate when somebody is like so eerily close to the line to cross it, but they didn't, so you just sitting there and you got a huff and puff? It's kind of like when you watch some of them shows and they were like, I'm going to call the police, but they didn't do anything where you call the police and they could get arrested. But you like, but they also not being peaceful. It's like, what's the line to call the police? Like, that's where I am right now listening to this, but I'm listening.
Get him out. What are you doing? McAfee helped ESPN fill, listen to this, this was really good, an NBA conference finals window with a state of sports primetime broadcast, and he interviewed all the league commissioners, and he had star athletes. Now, I got to tell you, McAfee has emerged, and rightfully so, very much rightfully so, as the face of ESPN. Why? Because he's entertaining. He ain't racist. He doesn't cater to one side or the other.
Okay, let's start there. He's entertaining. Stephen A. Smith is entertaining as well. Let's just, the comps. Let's compare. He's not racist. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is racist. It's the fact that Stephen A. Smith knows that he can get headlines off of playing race, like he could get headlines off of politics. And look, it served him well at the same time. Well, you'll win a lot of battles that way. We know the game. Why are we acting so damn surprised? There's so many games you can play out here and win battles and lose the war. We know how it goes. Like, if you want to play that little, you want to be a victim. You want to be somebody who's like, oh my God, woe is me. Okay, you gonna get some sympathy. Everybody gonna walk around and pat you on the head. Oh, look out. But you ain't winning no war like that. You just gonna be in the moment somebody that they gonna pacify. Then they gonna move past you. And I think that's what he's trying to globally say about this. Continue.
Just simply does what Bill Rasmussen and the folks that decided on ESPN back in the day when they decided an all sports network was to be had here in the United States. He did what they did. He hired people that were fun, energetic, smart, and liked talking about and participating in sports.
Well, you can't do that anymore, because if he had that same role in 2026, he wouldn't even approach it the same. Because we're not watching sports for that reason, at least Sports Center. We're not watching ESPN to learn. We can't. One, because we already know. Dog, by the time I get to ESPN, I already know what happened. Now I'm just trying to see how they react to what's happening, just like this show. All these clips are out there. All these videos are out there. All these podcasts are out there. All these media analysts are out there. All these hosts are out there. But y'all come in because y'all like, Wiley, what you think about it? And then we respond. It is a different lane, but at the same time, it's a part of the evolution, because we got tired of what they were doing exclusively. Nothing wrong with it. They even got tired of it. Stephen A. Smith has his show on ESPN First Take and does another show because he got tired of just doing that show. Now, you can talk about the opportunities that come from it, everything else, but even Stephen A. Smith was like, man, this is all we doing is Cowboys and stuff. Let me talk about some other stuff. Real spit.
Oh, my God. What are we going to do with that? I don't know. Anyway, recently ESPN is facing a nightmare scenario. They were on the heels of the Cavs being swept 4-0. Colorado Avalanche, the network turned to McAFEE to fill things in. Oh, my God, we got inventory that ain't here no more. Well, do we go to a Stephen A. Smith special? Oh, hell no. See, that was my Stephen A. Smith voice. I do voices. Anyway, it was a nightmare scenario for the network. You got to fill the inventory. Typically, you like series lengths when you are a network. When you're paying big money for major entities like the NHL, like the NBA, you want more games. You schedule more games. The scheduler is the most important person at ESPN. It's like,
okay, blah, blah, blah. We were going to part two that, but I don't know. I feel a little dirty right now. For no exclusive reason. I just feel a little dirty right now. But no, let me get to it. The scheduler and what he just said is interesting, because the network now is totally put its focus, as it kind of was, but it certainly is now. Their focus is live events. We know it. That's why they spend billions for it. They don't spend billions for the people working there. They don't. They spend billions so that all the people working there can point to that live event. NBA Finals last night. Please set a record. Oh, you're down 14, and then now you come back and win by 10. Please set a record. And then next game, please San Antonio win. And then let's make this go to 7. And then y'all can get caught up in the fodder of who's the king of the network. Who gives a damn? That's what they're thinking, really. Just like in the NFL, people are always talking about the fans' perspective. Always talking about, TV ratings and fans. Look, all the fans in the world can go show up to the games and go to the gate and have the passion, the energy, buy all the merch, all the foods, the $30 hot dogs. We all know it. But you know how much more money they make when we just sitting at home watching it on TV? Much more, right? Their gate, they're like, whatever, you can have those few millions. But the hundreds of millions that come from the revenue share and all that they get from the TV ratings is a whole different animal. So ESPN is kind of, wow, if you really want to give them props, they've entered a stratosphere where they're like, these are crumbs to us in terms of what we're paying out our talent. Because all we want them to do is point attention towards these finals. Record ratings for OKC and San Antonio. Hopefully they get the same for the NBA Finals is what they're betting. All right, we got to cleanse ourselves from that.
Become a gym member with Project Transition.
As a giver every month, small gifts have a big impact in creating real change. Not only will you transform lives, you'll also win and unlock once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Join me, Marcellus Wiley, in making a real impact through Project Transition, a global giving community dedicated to uplifting underserved youth with mentorship, education, and access to real opportunities. Your donation doesn't just enter you to win unforgettable prizes and exclusive experiences with myself and other gym members. It fuels our mission to empower the next generation of leaders, dreamers, and game changers. From after-school programs, life skills camps, and career development, every dollar helps unlock potential where it's needed most and where every person makes a world of difference. Give back, win big, be the difference, be greater than your greatest excuse. Support Project Transition today. Become a gym member and help turn obstacles into opportunities. Oh, that wasn't enough? Y'all want some more? Well, check out the link in my bio, Hydration Situation Live. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you. It's so crazy people still stuck in Patrick Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers? This is Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think the verse.
Time to hydrate. Hydration situation. So